Welcome to the Progressing Careers Everywhere podcast, brought to you by Amoria Group. I'm Daan Fokkema, director at our Amsterdam office. If you're curious about what a career in staffing and consulting really looks like, you're in the right place. In each episode, we'll be exploring what life is like for those who work as consultants, from the first weeks of training to the life-changing success stories that can be achieved. All from the people who work in this industry every day. In this episode, I welcome one of our team members, Astri Anggariani, Senior Recruitment Consultant in our Amsterdam office. We will be talking about what it really takes to become a successful recruiter, from the habits and mindset that drive results to how to keep growing in this fast-paced, rewarding career. Hi and welcome, Astri.
Hello, good morning, Dan.
Good morning. So let's jump straight into it. Let's start with an open question with your journey. What was your first impression when you started in recruitment, and how did you find your footing in those early months?
Well, we start with generally speaking. I like to talk to strangers, which I don't know why as well. And then I knew that since I was in high school that I would end up working with a lot of people in a diverse environment. So when I came across recruitment or I started recruitment, my first impression was, oh, this is fun. I obviously, when I started 6 years ago, I did not have any experience in recruitment. And then in order for me to keep going, or let's say to help me footing, let's say in those early months, is that I like to observe my colleagues. I like to listen to what they were saying to the clients, to the candidates. I would always ask them why they were saying this or why they were asking this to candidates to understand. And from what I observed and listened, I like to apply that to myself. So I remember that those early days, I always asked my mentor and my manager back then to have a list of people to call and you just focus on calling people as much as I could. And then this has really helped me to kind of get used to it. And then, of course, when I started at Amoria Bond, this is exactly the strategy that I also applied. Then it's really helped me, at least personally, to also understand and to understand my specific market at Amoria Bond.
Great insights. And look, everyone defines success a bit differently, right? So what does success mean to you in recruitment, and how has that definition evolved over time?
When I started in recruitment, the only thing I could think of was if I place someone at the client, then I'm succeeded. I check the box. And of course, that's the goal of recruitment anyway. However, over the time that I learned that it's actually more than that. So to my understanding, at least, recruitment is the hardest sales. Unlike with selling products, for example, you just have to find the target group to sell it. If the consumer does not like your product, then it's not your target group, and you just have to find the next right target group, let's say. And then with the products, you cannot change the product itself because it has been manufactured. In recruitment, it's more complex than just finding the target group because it's basically people-to-people service. You are offering your service of using people's service to the business needs. In this case, you always have to take into account to the needs of the clients and also the candidates themselves. And then in order to find the right target group and also the right person, you always need an information from the people as well. So the thing is, people will only give you information or start using your service when they trust you. This is in recruitment. So for me now, success in recruitment is actually when I get the trust from the clients and the candidates, because when I have this trust, I know for sure that I will get more success, in this case placement, in the future as well, because once they trust you, they will always come back to you.
I completely agree, and I used the example sometimes as well, like, okay, well, if you sell printers, you convince someone to buy your printers, then the printer you're selling is not going to say, no, I don't want to be sold to this business. So that's just one stream. And this industry, the printer, let's say, might say, well, I don't like this company, so I want something else, which is of course really difficult and brings an extra layer. So completely agree with that. What would you say are the key habits or mindset traits then that make someone thrive in this career?
I'm thinking about two things actually for the mindset. The first one is the person needs to have a learning mindset, because meaning that when someone has this mindset, they probably have a curiosity, let's say. In this field, you always have to be curious literally to everything, because you always have only a piece of information and you have to kind of connect the dots. For example, from the client side, you also always need to be curious about what are the needs, why do they want to do this, and then who are involved in these needs, and etc. And then on the other side, from the candidate's perspective, we also have to understand why do they want to do this assignment or this role, why this industry specifically, and then etc., right? Besides that, the business needs always grow over time in the market. So if you're in a recruitment, you are basically responsible in knowing the changes by being curious to the development of the market itself. If you don't have this, you are basically outdated, you are expired in the market, and you're out. So learning mindset is always one of the mindset that's really important. And then the second one, I think, is a long-term perspective, because when you have this, well, first, of course, in a recruitment, you always need to understand this from yourself. Why do you want to do this? It can be about your financial goals or a learning progress in personal development or just being interested in the industry or technologies itself. But when you know that for yourself, it creates a purpose and also motivation towards whatever you're doing, basically. And then it's when you have a long-term perspective, in the end, it will also help you to be consistent and persistent. And I think a lot of successful recruiter always have this kind of long-term perspective for their motivation.
I really like that, and I also like the word purpose. Yeah. So you say it creates purpose, and I think that's really important, because that brings me to my next question, because recruitment can be really tough, of course, as we all experience ourselves, especially in the beginning. How was that for you? What challenges did you face early on, and how did you push through and got over them?
Yeah. Well, we all know recruitment is the hardest one in sales.
Yeah.
So when I started 6 years ago, even like now, when I started at Amoria, but even until now, I got a lot of objections. Always. That's, I think, always the challenge, as I got a lot of objections. Can be objections on my first pitch, or can be objections just me asking about technology. So like, it can be anything, but a lot of objections, definitely, for sure. When I started at Amoria Bond, I got a very specific market. I have to build this market for myself from scratch. I know obviously no one. I don't know like the candidates. I don't know the clients as well. I know basically also nothing, obviously, about the technologies for this market. So I have to find out through the network, right? The thing is, people don't know me, right? I just started. People don't know me, and I don't know the right people or connections, let's say. So how I got through this is that every time I got objection, I just tell myself that, okay, it doesn't work. I will try again another time, maybe with another pitch, and see how they would respond with another pitch. This is how I push myself through the challenge, by just keep trying until I made it, let's say.
I really like that. Look, you can only control what you say yourself, right? Not what the response is. So keep working on your pitch and overcoming those objections. I think that's a really good lesson for everybody listening here who might be in the early stage of their career. And what would you say was the turning point or key lesson that helps you grow from being new in the role to becoming really confident and successful?
In relation to my previous answer, that I will just keep trying with another pitch, right? So my turning point is actually part of it. It's because of that. I realized that people can give you different responses depending on every circumstances. And then in that, one of the factors, my pitch, right? I would try another pitch. And also mostly the timing itself, because sometimes you probably maybe call at the wrong time, or maybe they're not looking, or maybe they also have a family things that you just basically call at the wrong time. You just have to try all the time. And the second thing that is the turning point for me is that tone of voice matters. So people can really sense you are nervous or you're not sure about what you're saying. And then they can also sense a lie, especially when you talk to someone for the first time. They can sense your kind of intention. It's basically, for me, I think it's a human instinct to be alert with something new. So early days, to make myself confident, actually, I like to record my pitch on the phone. And then I like to listen to it over the time. And I always kind of criticize my own voice by saying that, okay, does it sound robotic? Does it sound too salesy? Or does it sound too pushy? Or like maybe awkward? So I recorded my pitch over the time. I still do that actually until this day.
Yeah, okay, good.
Depending on the pitch, until I feel that I'm comfortable with my own voice. Because if it sounds natural to me, probably will be also sounds natural to other people. And to be honest, since I started doing this, I never really got any objection.
That's a good success.
People still object me, but it's just that I don't feel that it's the objection anymore, because it's just more like a conversation rather than just objection.
In there's also a certain hidden message. I think it's really important. That what are they objecting to, right? If they're not objecting you as a person or a sales consultant. Oh, they're just okay. Well, they listen to what you had to offer, and they're objecting to that, or they give logical reasons why it's not for them. You're having conversation. If your pitch is good and strong and doesn't sound robotic, people like to talk to you, and it does. Then it doesn't feel like an objection anymore, because you have a genuine conversation. So that's really really nice. So there will be a lot of people listening that may be thinking about a career in recruitment, or just have started, are in the first weeks, maybe feel overwhelmed because it's a lot coming at them, right? So what advice would you give them for building long-term success?
I would say, if there is anyone wants to start a career in a recruitment, first of all, this person or whoever that is has to be ready with the fact that recruitment is not an instant success. Again, it's a people to people service. You first have to gain the trust from these people, candidates or client sides. And then whatever you do since day one, it's very important, because it will define your long-term success. And then be consistent, trying the same thing over the time. If it doesn't work today, try again tomorrow, try again next week, next month, or even next year. Just keep trying until you make it happen. Working in a recruitment means working with people for people, right? And then the thing is, people change. So be ready as well with unexpected event. You already said it as well yourself, that sometimes you cannot control the response, but you can control what you're actually saying. So that's definitely what kind of the unexpected events, one of them. So it can be positive, it can be negative. So if it's negative, you always have to remember that just make sure that you've done what is in your control and let them be it, and then move on. Overall, recruitment, I think my personal opinion is that recruitment is fun because it's very dynamic. And then if you are a curious type, or someone who likes to improve every day, or someone who likes to receive a big reward after multiple attempts, then recruitment is for you.
Last question for today, Astri. So because we are now in the December month, a period that we all like to look forward, right? Working on our business plans. What is it that you're the most excited about looking to 2026?
I'm very excited that I have a big, personal things. I have a big trip, hiking trip, which I always wanted to go to this place, which is the Dolomites in Italy. So I'm going to have a hiking trip. So I'm very looking forward to that. And then I have a feeling, I don't know why, but I have a really positive feeling that something big might come to me in Q1 and Q2. Professionally.
Okay.
That's, I don't know. This is just a gut feeling.
Good feeling to have, right?
Yeah. And then, for me is that there is this one target client that I feel that this is more towards this. This is my gut feeling toward this target client. So I think that I'm very excited.
Yeah, exciting stuff. And I think purpose, right? We touched on it already. So great that you have potentially some goals for yourself next year that you're able to tick off. And look, I work closely to you on a weekly, daily basis sometimes. And look, I can agree, a lot of growth in there. So I can see where that feeling comes from. So I will cheer in with you when that happens. So thank you so much for joining me today, Astri.
Thank you, Daan.
Great. It's been great hearing your insights, and to everyone listening. Thanks for turning into the Progressing Careers Everywhere. Stay tuned for more conversations, a lot to come. And if you are ready to take your next step in your career, don't hesitate to reach out via amoriagroup.com.